The PS1 is a console that has a lot of really good horror games. Games so terrifying that they haunt their audiences decades later. Some have stories and dialogues that are so well written, they can move you to tears. OverBlood is not one of those. However, despite being kind of bad, there are some aspects of this game that are very interesting that we're going to take a look at. OverBlood is considered to be the very first survival horror game to make use of a fully three-dimensional environment. There's also some debate on whether or not this game is just a Resident Evil clone. And OverBlood has a brutal name, haunting music, and a lonely, isolated setting, yet somehow the scenes still come across as very not those things. Unintentionally funny, some might say. This is the very first thing you see when you start the game.
Warning! Warning! A state of emergency is in effect.
I think we should start using those close-ups as reactions. And oh boy, this is what our zombies look like, huh? Well, let's click start and see what other crazy things this game has in store.
What is this place? How did I get here? I can't remember. I can't remember myself. My gosh, I don't even know who I am.
The game opens with our confused protagonist waking up out of a cryogenic chamber. The room is frozen solid, and unless he figures out something quick, he's going to freeze to death. If you take too long to figure out what you need to do, you can in fact die from the cold. Better get used to that sound, because you're gonna hear it a lot. In order to avoid the fate of freezing to death, you'll need to solve a few puzzles. In the cryo chamber, there is a large device.
Auxiliary power device located underneath. Do not activate under normal conditions. Danger of overload and malfunction. For emergency use only.
Activating this emergency device would solve all of our problems, but our protagonist can't quite figure out how to operate it. You're gonna need to get used to hearing that too. This guy, he's not the brightest bulb in the cryogenic sleep chamber, if you catch my drift. I guess I can't operate this. Why was I sleeping here? I don't understand how this thing works. I can't remember. That's a big rack. With this jacket, I should survive. In one of the rooms, you find a memory chip. In this room, there's also a little robot that happens to have a slot that fits the chip perfectly.
What's the matter? Can't you talk? You understand me, don't you? Are you trying to say something? Is that all you can say? Beep? What's that supposed to mean? Yeah, beep beep to you too. You're a heck of a conversationalist. Oh, for crying out loud, don't be so sensitive. I know it's not your fault. Okay, whatever you say. Actually, I wouldn't mind the company. So, what am I supposed to call you? Peepo? Why not? Peepo it is. Well, it's nice to meet you, Peepo.
I've only had
Peepo
for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Peepo is a smart, delightful, and helpful little guy, so he helps out our protagonist by activating the emergency system and granting him access to the room's computer.
Disengaging door locks. Displaying information on selected organism.
What do you know? Looks like I have a name after all. Raz. Raz Carsey.
Revival program has been changed due to state of emergency. Original setting for date and time of revival: eternity.
Eternity? They never meant to let me out. If it wasn't for this state of emergency, I'd have been in the deep freeze forever.
Raz confirms several times that he has no memories and has no idea what's going on. However, he does know that he wants to get out of this building. Together with Peepo, he makes his way to the elevator.
Looks like we're in some sort of sub-basement. I don't know which was worse, being frozen or being buried alive like this. Peepo, why would anybody do this to me? Nowhere to go but up, and that's fine with me. Ah! Man, what a horrible way to die. What is that? A disease? I hope it's not contagious.
It becomes apparent that it will be no easy task to get out of this building. In this segment, you go through some more exploration and puzzles, mostly in the form of door key code combinations. The gameplay relies heavily on you switching back and forth between Raz and Peepo, which honestly is kind of interesting. I like it. And the rooms you explore get increasingly more bizarre, like this room here. There appears to be a lot of sci-fi bullshit going on in this place. You remember earlier how I said you should get used to the game over screen? Yeah, I'm convinced half of this game's budget went to adding in different ways to die. Like this, for example. In case you were wondering, it can indeed also happen to Peepo. That scream is going to haunt me forever. Another example of this game just constantly trying to murder you is this room here. When you enter, there's this thick statue floating in the center of the room. If you inspect it, Raz is like, oh neat, there's something there. If you pick it up, the solution to this problem is to push the statue over before you pick up the item. The game gives you absolutely zero warning of when things like this are about to happen, and they happen frequently. Reloading constantly is sometimes a bit of a pain because the cutscenes are not skippable, and retracing your steps can be tedious as the load times between rooms gets kinda old. You continue solving puzzles and exploring with your good pal Peepo. He helps you every step of the way, like in this sequence here. You take the anti-gravity device that you got from the floating statue and put it under a malfunctioning door to hold it up.
People help! The door! Find the switch! Phew. Thanks, Peepo. I thought I was a goner.
It's during this segment that you'll begin noticing a trend, one that actually began in the very first scene. A trend where Raz lacks any situational awareness and stands there more helpless than an AFK guy in Fortnite, while Peepo has to save him. This man would be dead without Peepo.
Come on, keep going. There's nothing to be afraid of. What's gotten into you? Why are you so jumpy? What? That noise. What's happening? Earthquake!
It took a full minute for Raz to respond. Literally over 60 seconds. Listen, if I'm standing on a narrow bridge with no railing, hovering over a pitch black bottomless pit, and my little robot friend starts panicking, I am instantly developing the ability to teleport to the other side because there ain't no way I would be on that bridge anymore. Shit, you wouldn't catch me on that bridge for 60 seconds total, let alone standing there in the middle of it, scratching my head, wondering what the big rumbling noise was.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though.
Raz and Peepo finish up this segment by restoring power to the elevator that had the mean old falling over zombie in it, so they head back to use it.
I've got to get out of here before I'm in the same shape he is. No, it's too late. I'm infected. I hope it's not contagious. This can't be happening. How did I catch it? Oh, for gosh sake, what is it? What have I done to deserve this? If only I could remember who I am, maybe it would help me understand. What now? The power's up. It should be running. Move, darn you! Don't leave us trapped like this!
Everywhere the pair travel, they find more and more signs of disease. Raz thinks he hears another living person in the distance, but he can't quite be sure. He's then kinda rude to my boy Peepo, and to be honest with you, I ain't really appreciating it.
Here too. So it is a contagious disease. The whole building must be contaminated. Oh, Peepo, if you could only talk. Somewhere inside that cluster of circuits you call a head, there's got to be some answers. If only you could tell me. I'm sorry, Peepo. I know it's not your fault. But is it mine? I'd give anything to know who I am, to know why I'm here. I've got to find some answers before this infection completely takes me over. I knew it! There is someone here, someone alive!
Oh boy, a person! That's exciting. Maybe they'll have answers. When I got to this point, I was so giddy I clicked my heels and ran off down the hall with my best buddy Peepo, excited to meet another character.
What in the... Ah! I'm a dead man. No! People. Come on, people. You'll pull through, I know you can. Shake it off, Peepo. Self-diagnose, you can make it. Don't leave me, Peepo. Peepo!
No. This can't be.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Oh. Well, I mean, we put that memory chip in the robot in the first place, so... I mean, he's probably fine. He better be. I said in the beginning that this game wouldn't move you to tears, and I can't be made a liar of. Who am I kidding? I'm already crying. The whole Discord server's gonna call me Early the liar. You should join, by the way. There will be a link in the description. You can show me pictures of your pets. Anyway, after the deeply traumatic loss of Peepo, Raz waddles around through some air vents to try to find the person he thought he heard earlier.
I'm coming!
Once you make your way out of the air vents, it looks like there's a monster standing over our screaming person. Combat in this game is... I'll just show you. What I'm trying to say is the combat's not very good. It's very clunky and not fun, but it works, I guess. Pulling up your inventory does not pause the game. You're almost always in super close quarters with enemies, so good luck to you trying to use an item or equip your gun, because you have to scroll through each and every item, including all of your puzzle items, to do anything while unpaused. The combat's not difficult or anything, and the game is pretty generous with your health and stuff. It's just kind of annoying. On the plus side, we've now defeated the zombie, and that means we get to meet the new character. Damn, woman!
Thank goodness I found you.
What? No! Stay away! Oh! I thought you were... that thing.
I can't tell you how relieved I am. I'm so glad to find another person. My name is Raz Karsi.
Millie Azray. Nice to meet you.
So, is your memory gone too?
I can't remember anything.
And we really are in the same predicament.
So it would seem.
We'll just have to get out of it together then.
Sure, you and me.
There's just one thing. It seems I have some sort of infection.
I've heard that on a first date. Ayo. Sorry.
Infection? What kind of infection?
I'm afraid I may turn into one of those creatures.
We'll get you help. Don't worry.
But you must promise me, if any infection takes over, you must do what you can to get away from me. Do you understand?
Don't talk that way. We'll get help before it comes to that, I promise.
Help? We can't expect any help. We're on our own.
Then what do you say? Let's get going.
What's that?
That? I'm not sure. I found it before. I don't know.
It says ARNA virus. This could hold the answer to what's happening to me, don't you think?
Nah. Millie better not be thinking she's gonna replace my man Peepo just like that. But she kind of does, because Raz, as we have established, is a bit of a simpleton, so Millie fills in the intellectual void left by the absence of Peepo. You can play as Millie as well. One of the things I really like about this game is how you can switch between the characters, and they use all of them really well. Peepo was able to fit into small spaces and do robot things like connecting to terminals that the human characters couldn't. Raz can do more physical things like reach high places, push big objects, and fight. Millie seems to have some knowledge regarding the facility, so her contributions tend to be more brain-powered or navigational. Unfortunately, the puzzles and exploration in this segment of the game get a little bit cryptic at times, and at worst there's just straight up pixel hunting. For example, this exact shelf here is copy and pasted all around the map. You pass shelves just like this one dozens of times. This particular shelf is of no importance and nothing sets it apart from any of the others. Do you see an item on the shelf? No? Well, there is one, and you can't progress without it. And getting a new character means there's tons of fresh new ways to kill yourself.
Look out!
Eventually, if you manage to not die long enough, Raz and Millie come across a room that has them rather stuck. The computer in this area seems to not let anyone pass without them undergoing decontamination.
Halt! You may not proceed beyond this point until sterilization is completed.
Sterilization?
As in decontaminated.
You sure? I may want to have kids someday.
Really?
Yeah. Still, somebody should tell the computer that it's a little late to be worried about contamination.
No kidding.
Some computers just don't get it. I wish this computer were more like Peepo. He understood.
Peepo? What's a Peepo?
My little robot friend. He helped me out of a jam, but he didn't survive.
Oh, you met SR-19. I see. I mean...
SR-19? What did you...
Oh, no, nothing. I was just... Never mind.
He helped me when I was attacked by one of those mutants, but he died in the effort.
So tell me about this... What did you call him?
Peepo. If he were still with us, we wouldn't have any trouble getting through here.
We will just have to give it a try ourselves. Do what the computer asks us to do. Get ourselves sterilized. Raz, you think you can figure out how to initiate the sterilization sequence?
I'd better. This is the end of the line.
We're gonna have to get access to the equipment first, right?
I'll get in. One way or another. You better wait here.
No, don't leave me, Raz.
This'll make you feel better. Even those things aren't immune to bullets.
Oh, I guess I'll be all right. Look out for yourself.
I won't leave you alone. I give you my word.
This segment of the game, you go through some puzzles involving switching back and forth between Millie and Raz to help Raz get to the equipment to get himself sterilized, but not that kind of sterilized, probably. I'd also like to point out that earlier in the game, in the room where Peepo died, there's a random valve on a pipe. The game asks if you'd like to turn it when you inspect it. If you say yes and turn the valve, all it does, literally all it does, is later in the game cause steam to block your path in the air vents, giving you an extra step in the puzzle to turn it off. At this point, the game is literally like, hey, maybe you shouldn't fuck with random valves that you don't know what they do. Honestly, I kind of respect that. And of course, this wouldn't be OverBlood if there weren't some amazing ways to kill Raz in this segment as well. When Raz gets inside of the control room, he finds a device that has some information regarding the virus that's been fucking up the whole building. Then, it gets pretty wild. This scene is a little bit long, but it's important to the vast, deep, beautiful OverBlood lore, so I'm gonna let it run. Hang in there.
Virus analysis. Designation: artificial ribonucleic acid, ARNA virus. Properties: retrovirus incorporating human RNA proteins. ARNA virus not shown in database. This is a new virus. Characteristics: aggressively reorders DNA of infected organism, disrupting genetic code of host. Effects: extreme increase in metabolism of infected organism, transformation of tissue structures. Complete metamorphosis of host organism is ultimate result. No longer human. Prognosis: traumatic reordering of host cellular structure will result in total systemic collapse. Host organism will die. Projected mortality rate of infected subjects stands at 100% fatal.
100% fatal. I don't stand a chance. I'm a dead man. An artificial virus would make such a thing. Millie, is it too late for her too? But if a man created this virus, there must be a way for man to cure it. We must find a way for Millie's sake. Millie? Can you hear me?
Raz. Oh, thank goodness you're back.
Are you all right, Millie? Millie, stay where you are. I'm gonna get you decontaminated. Here goes nothing.
Commencing sterilization sequence. 60 seconds to completion.
Raz, help me!
The gun! Use the gun!
It's not working. It's jammed.
Millie, the safety's on! Release the safety, Millie! Shoot it! Come on!
Raz!
The safety catch is on.
out loud. I got him! Raz, I stopped it!
It's still alive.
40 seconds to completion of sterilization sequence.
How many times do I have to kill this damn thing?
Millie, get out while you can.
No, I won't leave you like this.
20 seconds.
It's too late for me. Save yourself.
Shut up! When we go together.
10 seconds to completion of sterilization sequence. 4 seconds to completion of sterilization sequence.
What? Your name?
No,
Sterilization
It
sequence
couldn't
is
be.
complete. You may now proceed.
Go on, Millie. Get out of here while you can.
the military's playing us for fools. We've got to shut down the project.
Don't be absurd.
This was supposed to be about enhancing longevity, improving immunological defenses, but they've corrupted it.
You're naive if you thought we could limit how our findings are applied. Sure, we may not like...
Now who's being naive? Any good that might have come of this will never see the light of day. We're only helping them create their synthetic soldiers, mindless killers.
It's a trade-off. Think of the medical advantages.
Think of the death.
Don't be so overly dramatic. All we're doing is enhancing some natural genetic selections. It's as natural as cross-selecting these trees for strength and beauty.
Beauty? How dare you talk of beauty? What we're doing is monstrous and deadly. If anything should happen to this facility...
Nothing's going to happen.
If the virus should escape into the environment, there's no telling what could happen. It could destroy all humanity. Hey there. You okay? I was worried about you.
I'm okay.
Glad to hear it.
Where are we now?
It's our... It looks like some sort of botanical garden.
Trees.
What's happening, Raz?
No, don't
all
touch me.
right?
It's... the infection's spreading.
It's all right, I know.
That's right. Just a little mold. You're still safe from it, aren't you?
Seems so.
Good. Maybe the decontamination process worked for you.
That must be it.
I'm glad. I'd hate to see this happen to you.
And I hate to see you like this. We'll find a cure.
You think so? Wish I could be so sure.
Alright, Millie's getting a little suspicious. And I'm not particularly fond of that evil buzzing camera looking down at them either. Raz is noticeably getting weaker and the virus is spreading over him. Come on, game, you already took Peepo from me, you can't take Bootleg Barry from me too.
It's happening again.
Hang in there, Raz. I know you can.
I'm burning up. My arm feels like it's on fire.
Be strong, Raz. Be strong. Oh no! Another one!
Get back, Millie!
Raz!
Quick, stop the elevator. I'll hold him off as long as I can.
Don't give up, Raz! Raz, now's your chance! See, Raz? You've still got a lot of fight left in you.
I wish I was as confident about that as you. See? It's getting worse.
Zeus,
Inquiry?
estimate time until the reactor core goes critical.
Approximately 67 minutes until total destruction.
That doesn't leave much time to get her out of there.
Rescue is problematic. My remote sensors show extensive damage to the facility.
We've got to save her before his transformation is complete. When he changes, he'll turn on her just like the others.
This subject exhibits increased resiliency.
I know. He's the first subject to have a gradual transformation instead of changing instantaneously.
True. It is probable that his slow rate of metamorphosis will allow him to survive the transformation.
Then he could prove to be our first success. A fully integrated biogenic unit.
Your research is on the verge of realization.
How ironic that he must be destroyed anyway.
Further study of this subject is warranted. I recommend we retain him.
No, we must destroy him. Besides, we don't have the facilities anymore to contain him safely.
Separating the subject from Dr. Asray may complicate her rescue.
I don't want any excuses. I'm only interested in saving her and killing him. Is that clear?
Understood.
We've got to keep moving, Raz. Are you up for it?
Yeah. The pain's past for now. Let's get going.
It's amazing how he's pulling through. To resist the ARNA virus that normally has an instantaneous transformation period? Well, I suppose I should be pleased after all our work. It looks like Raz might be our first successful subject.
Millie?
Right, Raz, I'm here.
This is no time for daydreaming. Let's go.
I'm right with you, Raz. Still, I've got to find a way to clear the virus from his system. I don't care about the project. It's not worth the price of losing him.
Wowee, what a roller coaster. Millie just keeps getting more and more mysterious. On top of that, whoever's peeping through the security cameras apparently wants to kill Raz. The plot is getting thick. Seriously? Of all the ridiculous things in this game that kill you, the red lasers don't? Whatever. Anyway, Raz and Millie have to split up again, and while alone, Raz finds a rather interesting message on a computer.
Regarding the counterfeit project.
Counterfeit project?
Letter of protest. It is my deep concern that the National Defense Committee is asserting intolerable pressure on the Leicester Laboratory to redirect our research away from peaceful aims by introducing the ARNA virus into the systems of our cloned subjects. Although evidence suggests the subjects will develop enhanced sensory skills, memory deletion will render the subjects virtual slaves. The only logical application would be to create mindlessly obedient soldiers.
Memory deletion?
I must protest the involvement of the Defense Committee with the Leicester Laboratories on this project. Our goals have always been peaceful, promoting proactive natural genetic advances to help fight disease, enhance stamina and strength, and accelerating the natural development of the human species. Allowing the military to hijack our work would be short-sighted and dangerous. It must not happen. Accordingly, I am demanding an immediate suspension of the counterfeit project. Signed, Millie Asray, Project Associate Director.
Millie wrote this. She's been in on it the whole time.
When they reunite, Raz drags her ass right back over to that computer and demands an explanation. Millie basically tells him that she doesn't remember anything and has no idea about anything going on. However, it's pretty obvious that she's lying.
Zeus, you fool! Why didn't you destroy Millie's letter?
I am a computer. I cannot be a fool.
Oh yeah? It was certainly foolish to let him see that.
It is foolish to be concerned over things you cannot change. This information is no use to him.
No use? You're not accounting for human emotions. There's no telling what he may do if he finds out the truth about her. He's unstable. What do you suppose he might do when he realizes she helped make him the way he is?
An interesting query.
It's obvious Millie is one of those who made Raz. If he finds that out...
He may attempt to terminate her.
At this point, Raz just keeps declining, and it's looking less and less likely that he's going to be making it out of the building.
A card key. A lot of good it is without its lock.
Maybe... Raz! Fight it, Raz!
Millie! I can't go on. I'm losing it, Millie.
Raz!
Run, Millie! Get away from me!
Poor Raz. I will cure you, I promise.
The creeper that's been watching Raz and Millie gets all flustered that Raz has transformed. His evil computer is very excited that Raz survived and seems relatively intact except for his mind. This means that he's the first successful test subject. The computer states that because Raz's brain is fried, it means he'll be able to be molded into a perfect soldier. The creeper camera guy still insists that Raz needs to die despite this success and expresses that all he cares about is saving Millie. He sounds pretty desperate about it.
I'm not interested in him. I want him dead. It's Millie that we've got to save.
Millie further proves that she knows a lot more about this operation than she lets on. She somehow manages to get Raz strapped down to this machine and uses it to try and help him.
Raz, can you understand me?
Yes. Millie? Millie, what happened?
It's going to be okay now. Look.
It's cleared up.
That's right. Perfectly normal.
But how?
I removed it. You're healed.
You removed the virus?
Of course. I promised you, didn't I?
How did she know how?
Well, Raz is back to normal, that's one problem solved, but they still need to get out. They find a disc that, when played, explains what exactly happened to cause all of the chaos.
Attention all personnel. Evacuate immediately. Repeat. An earthquake measuring magnitude 8.9 has local epicenter. Aftershocks. All personnel. Emergency procedures now in effect. Cryogenic storage units have been compromised. Infected subjects are no longer secured. Evacuate to main computer room on upper level immediately.
So that's what got us into this mess. An earthquake. And it released those beasts.
The second part of the disc explains that the building is set to self-destruct to make sure that the virus is destroyed. The scientists, who were immediately evacuated, are upset that their work is going to be lost. Creeper Cameraman insists that the test subjects need to be evacuated as well, to which evil science boss man has quite the interesting response. Alright, buckle up. We're about to learn us a thing about Millie.
I know what you're interested in, that clone. Forget it, she's expendable.
How dare you! She's everything I've worked for. I won't sacrifice her.
For goodness sake, it's not her. It's it. And it isn't worth risking our lives for.
You think of her as just another entry in your logbook. But she's real. Flesh and blood. As real to me as she ever was.
Face it, she's not your Millie. She's just a clone.
This conversation is pointless. The self-destruct mechanism is set for 24 hours, and
I didn't authorize that! You better hope I have time to save her, or you'll pay!
Take it easy. What's done is done.
Never! I won't lose her! Whatever it takes! My Millie!
My Millie?
Alright, how many of you had cloned that camera guy wants to bang on your Millie bingo cards? If you predicted that one, then good job.
A clone? Millie, do you realize what he's saying? You're a clone?
It's true.
And your memory?
It wasn't deleted. I remember.
Why didn't you tell me? Why have you put us through all this?
It's not as simple as that. My memory is from before I died.
Before you died? I don't understand.
I remember Millie's life from before. How she worked, how she loved. I don't remember what happened here to me. The last thing I remember was my own death, her death. Strange, isn't it?
I can't believe it. You're so real.
I am real. I'm just not the same.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to suggest that. It's just that I need to ask you one more question. Who am I?
Let me try to explain.
This might sound strange, but your real name is Barry Burton.
Huh?
Millie, can you hear me?
Who is that?
Finally, they can hear me.
Answer me. Who's there?
Millie, listen to me carefully. There's no time to explain. The center is going to self-destruct.
I know.
You know? Then hurry. There isn't much time.
I can't leave him.
Have you lost your mind? Leave him.
Don't be afraid. He's safe.
Safe?
I'm telling you, he won't hurt anyone.
Do you think I care about that? I want him dead.
Then I'll die with him.
No, leave him. You must. You're my...
That wasn't me. That was a different Millie. All I have in common with her is a DNA strand and memories.
What are you saying? Millie, you are my... It's that man. He's twisting your mind.
Your wife is dead. I love this man.
You love me. I made sure of it by saving...
Forget about him, Raz. We've got to go.
God, this game is so funny. Could you imagine loudly proclaiming that you love this man and that man's response is... The cameraman's computer starts making fun of him for having to take Millie back by force rather than Millie just genuinely wanting to come back to him on her own, which is kind of funny. His response to the computer is my official favorite line of the game.
I won't listen to any more of your electro-psychobabble.
Raz and Millie are getting very close to making it out of the building at this point. However, the earthquakes are starting up again, and the only way forward is on a little hover vehicle that has very little battery left.
This one looks operational.
Can you fly it?
I can try. Oh no, another tremor.
An aftershock!
Get on, it's now or never.
Raz, she was already on the vehicle when you told her to get on, but I mean, whatever, that's fine. Here the game throws a whole new mechanic at you. You'll be dodging rocks in a dark, treacherous cave while trying to escape the terrible consequences of a man-made virus on a tiny vehicle with a blonde girl hanging on to you for dear life. Wait a minute, that sounds familiar. Oh, whoopsie, I put the wrong footage, silly me. I got this confused with the other game where the same exact thing happens. You know how I said earlier some people debate back and forth on whether or not OverBlood is a Resident Evil clone? I'm starting to think it's the other way around. I'm just kidding. But in true OverBlood fashion, in case you were wondering, you can in fact die here as well.
Battery's going dead. We're going down.
Raz! Up ahead!
We're gonna have to bail out. Get ready.
I'm with you!
Yeah, in one piece.
Our beautiful brave heroes finally make it to the final elevator. They're so close to getting out. However, this is OverBlood and we can't have an elevator without having an incident. No, really, have you noticed how much of this game's story takes place around elevators?
Millie!
Did you eliminate him?
There was no time. I had to get Millie out of there.
Is she alright?
She just needs to rest. We still have a little time.
Understood.
Will our hero be able to save Millie? Find out next time in OverBlood 2. Yeah, I'm just kidding. This game does have a resolution, but there is an OverBlood 2. I know nothing about the sequel other than apparently Raz mysteriously develops a British accent and somehow it's even weirder. We will definitely be going over that game soon. But for now, let's enjoy OverBlood 1 wrapping itself up.
Stay away from her. Astonishing, really, that you've survived this long. You've left me no choice but to terminate you myself.
What do you want with Millie?
Simple. To pick up where we left off. As husband and wife.
That Millie is dead. You've no right to this woman.
Right? How dare you question my rights? She's a perfect duplicate. I've seen to that. She's my Millie in every way.
Except that she doesn't love you.
And you think she loves you? You have no idea how preposterous that is. I've devoted every waking minute, every ounce of my being to restoring her. If you think I'm going to lose her now to you, you're mad.
Nothing you can do can change that now.
No. I have her back at last. Everything will be the way it was between us.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Don't you know by now? I am RageGames.
No!
Zeus, light please. You're nothing but a clone. Of me.
Me? A clone? It's not true.
You're nothing but a lab experiment, cultured from a single hair from my head. You're nothing.
You're lying.
You know it's the truth. You don't have a memory, do you? That's because I didn't give you one. What does a lab rat like you need with a memory? You're just one in a long line of experiments, and the experiment is over.
10 minutes to self-destruct.
Fine. Millie and I will be on our way, just as soon as I deal with this one last detail. Killing the last clone.
I'd rather be dead than go through life with someone as evil as you.
It's me you love. You're my Millie.
You are as meaningless to me as a lump of mold in a petri dish. I won't let you hurt him. I love him. Your Millie is dead.
Think of the gift I've given you. Your life back.
Farewell.
We can pick up where we left off. It's your fault. If you didn't exist, she'd accept me again.
She could never accept you. You're a cold-blooded murderer.
Murderer?
Those others, they wanted to abandon my Millie, to leave her to die here. It wasn't murder. It was self-preservation. Time's up, clone.
Don't!
Aftershock!
No! It's not fair. No, 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 no. I was him. I was so close.
Raz is one of the most frustrating boss fights I have ever experienced. The rest of the game is fine. It's clunky and it kills you all the time without any warning, but it's fine. This fight though, oh my god. The building is getting very close to self-destructing, so you have to do this entire sequence on a time limit that is not paused during dialogue or scenes. The combat is very slow and awkward, and it can be challenging to hit the boss with the way that the camera works. This is an issue because he has quite a bit of health and is pretty unforgiving if you accidentally let him get too close to you. If he knocks you down, it takes a pretty long time to recover. If you didn't hoard a ton, and I mean a ton of bullets up to this point, good luck. This boss also has multiple phases. Once you get him down for the first time, you have to talk to his computer. If you look to your bottom right, you'll see the merciless timer that never stops ticking down.
Zeus, open this door.
Identification code incorrect.
I'm Raz Karsi.
I cannot verify. There have been too many Raz Karsis lately.
What now?
The computer, as we are aware, is a sassy little shitlord. To progress, you need to insert Peepo's memory chip. Oh my god, our little buddy, he's back!
Come on, confirm already.
Identification pattern confirmed. SR19 memory positive. Recognition positive. Hello, Raz Karsi. Good to see you again. You may enter.
Thank you, people.
Okay, I know I said the previous elevator was the last elevator, but I forgot about this one when I said that, so surprise! Thanks to Peepo, you get one more elevator incident.
Not much time till self-destruct.
I know, we're cutting it close. What now?
More trouble.
Sounds like one more obstacle to pass. There's no time for this.
Do something quick. It's going to break through.
Integrate this. It's gone.
The iconic clone duo find an airplane that they plan on using to escape, but the goddamn boss shows up yet again. You can in fact die here if you don't kill him fast enough, and here's what happens. To win, you have to kite him behind the airplane and turn on the engine.
Exterior gates open. Passage clear.
Yep, that's the end. Hey, did anybody remember to grab the Peepo chip back out of the computer before the building self-destructed? Oh my god.
Are you the real Raz?
I don't know. But I am sure of one thing. I know I am the real me.
Wow, truly profound. Now that we've seen the whole story and talked about the game, let's discuss the points I brought up earlier. OverBlood is considered by most to be the first survival horror game to utilize fully 3D environments. This is cool. This allows you to be able to switch to a first-person camera mode if you want to. It's a bit too clunky and awkward to actually want to use, but it really is unique for the time that you are even able to do that. So while the game is very awkward to play, I do have to give it a lot of credit there. Some people argue that Alone in the Dark was the first game to do this, but nuh-uh. Alone in the Dark's environment environments are not fully 3D despite having 3D elements. Most of the backgrounds are pre-rendered static screens and wouldn't be able to function in a first-person point of view like OverBlood. Others might argue that games like 3D Monster Maze or even Doom would be the first. However, these games are actually 2D, or I guess in Doom's case technically 2.5D if you want to get into it. You could, however, argue that the game OverBlood is a spiritual successor to is technically the first game to do it. I'll use this as a segue onto our next topic. Is OverBlood a Resident Evil clone? It's not. Mostly. As I mentioned, OverBlood is a successor to River Hillsoft's first game called Dr. Hauser, a 3DO Japan exclusive. Dr. Hauser is an Alone in the Dark clone, but it adds some of its own unique elements. One of those elements is the same ability to swap the camera's point of view that we see in OverBlood. In terms of gameplay, OverBlood really has its roots in Dr. Hauser more than it does Resident Evil. You can tell by how Dr. Hauser just randomly kills the player with absolutely no warning, resulting in a big long scream and a game over screen. I guess it just says game, but by golly, that's an OverBlood death. Both Resident Evil and OverBlood were in development at the same time and both came out in 1996. But methinks someone somewhere was somehow a little aware of what was going on with Resident Evil, because the shift into viruses and zombies with a protagonist that looks identical to Barry is, well, it would be a big coincidence. Early reviews from when the game originally came out mention this a lot. Here's an article from IGN in 1997 that states, OverBlood attempts to recreate the moodiness and horror of Resident Evil but never quite succeeds. And OverBlood doesn't live up to the high standards set by its predecessors. You'd be better off waiting for Resident Evil 2. Another review from 1997 from RageGames describes OverBlood as, quote, Resident Evil with real-time rendered backgrounds. Aside from the variable camera angle, the games are identical. So yeah, I mean, it's technically not a Resident Evil clone. Technically. I don't know, there's a lot of opinions regarding these things, so go ahead and let me know if you have something to add to the discussion in the comments below. Everything said and done, I like OverBlood. I don't think it's a very good game, but I like it a lot. The gameplay is okay if you consider it from a PS1 perspective, but if you consider it from a modern perspective, it's clunky and obnoxious. The scenes and story are silly enough to be very enjoyable, except for the scene with Peepo's death that genuinely actually made me feel bad. Peepo was so sweet and helpful, and Raz desperately telling him to hang in there knowing it was too late. It was just too much for little old me.
You'll pull through, I know you can.
How did a game with zombies that look like this make me have a genuine feeling? Touché, OverBlood. And that about wraps it up. Like I mentioned previously, I will definitely be checking out OverBlood 2 soon, and I have heard that that game is completely unhinged, so that'll be fun. If you enjoy these videos, please check out the links below. I have a neat little Discord server where we chat about games, and we'd love to have you. There's also a Ko-fi link where you can send a little tip my way or subscribe monthly to help support the channel. Thanks so much for watching. If you got this far into the video, you're beautiful.
Perimeter breach. Perimeter breach. Ah!